18 million people in Britain carry a Nectar card. Most of them think it's a reward scheme. Collect points, get money off your shopping. But Sainsbury's makes an estimated £300 million a year selling the data those 18 million people hand over every time they scan it. And that's not even the part most people don't know, because buried in the privacy policy is a clause that lets Sainsbury's Bank use your grocery shopping history to assess your creditworthiness and your insurance risk. What you put in your trolley can affect the financial products you're offered and the terms you get. The Nectar card launched in September 2002 as a coalition scheme across 4 partners: Sainsbury's, BP, Debenhams, and Barclaycard. From day one, it was collecting data on where you bought your groceries, where you filled your car, where you bought your clothes, and what you put on your credit card. Within a few years, roughly half of all UK households were carrying the card. What it collects, in Sainsbury's own language, is transaction information. In practice, that means every item you've ever bought at Sainsbury's, Argos, Habitat and Tew clothing, time-stamped to the minute, linked to your name, your address, your phone number and your email. Your shopping history tells Sainsbury's more than most people realise. Whether you buy nappies tells them you likely have a young child. What medication you buy lets them make inferences about your health. Whether you buy alcohol, and at what frequency, is tracked. If your shopping basket changes dramatically on certain days, that tells them something about your routine, your work pattern, and potentially your relationship status. But that's the data from inside Sainsbury's own stores. There's a newer feature called Nectar Connect that goes much further. When you link your bank account to your Nectar profile through Nectar Connect, Sainsbury's receives between 6 and 36 months of your historical transaction data, depending on your card provider. That's not just Sainsbury's purchases. That's every transaction on your linked card across every retailer, every restaurant, every subscription service, every transfer. Sainsbury's can see where else you shop, what else you spend, and what your complete financial picture looks like across your entire life. And that raises an obvious question. What does Sainsbury's actually do with all of this? Sainsbury's operates a division called Nectar 360, specifically to monetize the data the card collects. In plain terms, manufacturers whose products are sold at Sainsbury's pay Nectar 360 for access to information about how you shop. They learn which products you buy, which products you switch between, how price-sensitive you are, how often you shop, and what else you tend to buy alongside their product. In December 2023, the Sunday Times reported that Sainsbury's and Tesco together were estimated to be making roughly £300 million a year from selling customer data collected through their loyalty schemes. Sainsbury's chief executive Simon Roberts defended the practice, describing it as providing more relevant advertising to customers. He said the data was anonymized and protected carefully. What was also revealed was a specific partnership with Channel 4. A person who buys certain products at Sainsbury's can be targeted with specific television adverts while watching Channel 4, based on what Sainsbury's data says about their likely interests, income, and household composition. Sainsbury's has said it expects Nectar 360 to generate an additional £100 million in profit over 3 years. The product being sold is information that 18 million people provided in exchange for points worth fractions of pennies per transaction. Sainsbury's position is that the data is anonymized in its commercial applications, that customers consent through the terms they accept, and that personalized offers benefit customers. Those arguments aren't entirely wrong, but they depend on a specific assumption that the people handing over the data understand what they're handing over. Big Brother Watch named Sainsbury's and Tesco as the worst offenders for selling customer data in a 2023 report on British supermarket loyalty schemes. If you want to see more of this kind of analysis, subscribe, because the next part of this story is the one that changes how you think about the card in your wallet. This is the part of the Nectar card's data practices that almost nobody talks about. According to Nectar's own published privacy policy, Sainsbury's Bank creates financial models by combining your transaction data from Sainsbury's, Argos, Habitat and TU with creditworthiness data, credit performance data and insurance performance data. What that means in practice is that your grocery shopping history is being used to assess your creditworthiness and your insurance risk profile. Sainsbury's Bank can use what you buy to make inferences about your financial stability, your health risks, and your lifestyle. And those inferences can affect what financial products you're offered and on what terms. You signed up for a points scheme. You are being scored as a financial risk based partly on what you put in your trolley. Whether 18 million people understood that when they signed up is a question Sainsbury's privacy policy does not answer. In 2023, the Competition and Markets Authority announced it was examining loyalty card pricing at major British supermarkets. The concern was specific. At both Sainsbury's and Tesco, certain products were available at lower prices exclusively to loyalty card holders. Customers without the card paid a higher price for the same item, at the same time, in the same store. A consumer watchdog investigation found that almost 30% of promotions at both retailers showed the supposed discount price as the regular price for less than half the time over a 6-month period. The higher price shown to make the loyalty card saving look significant was, in some cases, not the genuine regular price. It was a temporarily inflated price designed to make the discount appear larger than it actually was. The CMA's review concluded in 2024 without requiring major structural changes. But the picture that emerges from the investigation is clear. The Nectar card is not primarily a reward scheme. It's a data collection mechanism that uses price differentiation as its incentive. If you hand over your data, you get the lower price. If you don't, you pay more for the same goods. And the data you hand over generates an estimated £300 million a year for the companies collecting it. The Nectar card is not a fraud. It is not illegal. Every data practice described in this video is disclosed in Sainsbury's published privacy documentation and conducted within the framework of GDPR. But when 18 million people scan a card at the checkout, most of them think they're earning points on their weekly shop. They are not thinking about the fact that their transaction data is being sold to brands for targeted advertising, shared with Channel 4 for television ad targeting, and used by Sainsbury's Bank to build financial risk models based on what they eat and drink. The Nectar card launched in 2002 as a points scheme. It has become one of the most valuable data assets in British retail. The points are real. What flows in the other direction is worth considerably more.